A transformation is taking place in downtown Lowell that, with the help of MassHousing financing, will turn a former blighted 13-acre industrial district into a vibrant new mixed-use community of housing, retail, commercial, and office space. Phases 1A and 1B of the Appleton Mills redevelopment in the Hamilton Canal District are 98% complete, with 170 units of housing designed as live-in workspace for artists now being rented. MassHousing provided $36.4 million for Phases 1A and 1B, which involved the adaptive reuse of a former mill building. When the entire project is completed over the next decade by developer Trinity Financial, 11 new energy-efficient buildings and the rehabilitation of 4 historical buildings will combine to provide up to 725 units of housing with the retail and commercial space. Larry Sparrow, Trinity's design and project manager, says there were many challenges to completing the first phases of the project.
We're standing in this atrium that, frankly, everyone who sees it thinks it's quite spectacular, as it is. And I was showing in your agency, I know, has some before pictures of what this place really looked like. All the wood you see here is all new wood. The wood was so deteriorated that we just couldn't reuse it. We had hoped to maybe try to reuse some of the beams and just replace planking and stuff. It was so deteriorated with bug life and moss and mildew that we decided, no, let's take it all out. Unfortunately, it was priced that way. To take it all out, we came up with the connections that worked for new seismic loads, but we did salvage all the cast iron columns. They did meet the new codes. The engineers ran the calcs on the cast iron, and it was fine. So we took those all out, sandblasted those, contained it, and did a sandblasting, clean off all the paints, and re-established those into the new construction. So it's you can see we've developed this atrium railing system around it, and then the units throughout. We are, as I say, basically complete. Most of our work now is on the outside, the courtyards. We're going through punch lists now. We got, I don't know, 40 or so of the units fully punched out, and with the others ongoing. So within a couple of weeks, we should even be fully punched out with all the keys turned over to management.
That's fantastic. And these are primarily designed for artists. And obviously this foyer down here is going to be used for some display and exhibit space.
Yeah, the way the project is set up is the City of Lowell and Trinity, and everyone's vision for this was the Appleton Mills is the first of within a complex or building rehab within what is called the Hamilton Canal District. And you guys saw the description of that, of some 13 or 14 buildings going in here. Very important to the city.
Larry, talk about some of the challenges that you had with this particular project, and some of the things that you're most happy about the way they turned out.
Sure. The biggest challenge was, I think a very large challenge was the restructuring of this building. The demo of it, right from day one of getting out, and again, walking across the floors was a dangerous and hazardous thing when we started here. So it was really the demo of this and supporting those masonry walls. We actually did lose part of the whole 5th floor up in this corner up here from wind. We did have a minor, and no accident is minor, but a man was hurt from some falling brick, and that's when they really said, hey, we stepped back and reevaluated and added a whole lot of additional bracing, and it shored up every window that had been removed in every frame. So that took some extra time, and then the challenge of making that time back up. But once I think we got the rhythm going and started rebuilding, I think we all breathed a sign of relief as you get your floors up to 3 and 4, and you start to really lock the brick all back together. Yep. The mechanical systems were well engineered. R.W. Sullivan, I thought, did a great job with their engineering. Very complicated spaces, but it all went together well. I'm very proud of the foremen that were on the job for the various subcontractors. I think did a nice job. So it all really went well.
Good.
I guess the next challenge is getting it all rented out.
Getting the whole thing. Anything else you can think of as far as something unique? I mean, this is a very unique project, obviously, but
well, in a way, in a way, it's part of the structure, but being right on the canals, and we had a challenge with the deteriorated foundation along the canal that we were able to underpin and get that rebuilt a little at a time. But it happened within the budget, but it was challenging, a little, I won't say scary, but challenging to get the guy, once the guys got going, it was fine, but trying to anticipate and price and figure out how to do it. But once the men started, it went well. Maybe another large challenge here was National Grid and the utilities. We are really on an island, and the further I got into this project, the more I thought we were really on an island. Because not only are we surrounded by canals with no utilities out here, there was a high-pressure gas line going through that we were able to tap, but they actually had to move it because of the future bridge going in. But even Jackson Street, which is right on the other side of the canal where our services are coming from, fortunately water and sewer were out there, but Comcast wasn't there, Verizon wasn't there. They were there a little bit, but not for a project like this. Edison, you know, the power wasn't there, so they were all coming from 2 and 3 blocks away, and then temporarily having to come over the canal, up above the canal, until these bridges got built so then they can run under it, get in the road. So all that coordination really was time-consuming and a challenge, and that was on our side of the ledger as opposed to the contractor side, because we're responsible for getting that all in place. But it all went together.